Today, we are recognizing International Day of the Girl Child. Joining me to talk a little bit more about it is Tisna Tini. She's the lead content in marketing at IJM Canada. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Celia.
I would love to know, what is your role at International Justice Mission?
Yes. So my role is the lead content marketing, which means that I take the stories that we get from around the world, the stories of our survivors, of our advocates, of our frontline workers, and bring them in a way that we're able to share them with our donors, people across Canada, just to bring them closer to the mission and the work that we do. And so it's really that aspect of being able to tell the story of justice, of hope, but also showing the hardship and the truth and the reality of those who are facing violence around the world.
Since that's your job anyway, I would love, if you don't mind, share a story or two of the reality of what IJM is doing and who it affects.
Yeah. One of the most recent story that we had was from a man in India. His name was Aparo, and he got lost. He was on the train, got lost, ended up being forced to work into forced labor. And for so many years, from decades, his family lost complete touch with him, didn't know where he went. For him, he was just a missing man. And just a couple months ago, it's a really recent story that he was able to get freed from the workplace that he was trapped in. And then it became this whole search of trying to find his family because he lost manner of speech because of all the trauma of the work. And all of the media, everything came together in South Asia to find his family. And we had the video clip of the moment where he was reunited with his family, which was so touching. And it was something that we were praying for. And then it happened during our staff retreat that we have quarterly, that some of the leads shared about the reunion. And it was such a beautiful moment of hope of seeing this completion of him being able to be reunited with his family. And we're just really excited to be able to share this with everyone, this beautiful story, and seeing the tangible impact that justice and rescue bring.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's incredibly powerful. I would also
Mhm.
love to hear maybe a story about a woman or girl, seeing as it is International Day of the Girl Child.
Mhm. Yes. One of the places, Africa is really close to my heart. I'm from West Africa, from Niger. And so a lot of the work that we do, mostly on East Africa, so with all of the women, helping them rescue from domestic violence or just sexual exploitation or violence in general. One of the A recent story that I was working on that we were actually featuring in March, that we feature for International Women's Day, but she was also a girl, was Kovia. Just an amazing woman, a girl at the time who was abused by the father of her child when she was still a teenager, and just a lot of the trauma of her losing custody of her child and all of that. And IGM being able to step in, reunite her with her child, help her follow her dream. She dreams of becoming a tailor and starting her own business. She dreams of going around the world and starting fashion shows. And with the support of IGM donors, we're able to pay for vocational training to empower her to follow her dreams, and that's now what she's pursuing. She's also part of the Global Survivor Network. So it is a global network that is affiliated with IGM that helps support survivor to become advocates and leaders, and to lead a change in their communities and in what they want to see. And so she's now part of this group, empowering other girls and other women to rise up after the trauma and everything that they've endured, and to be able to follow their dream and know that their life doesn't stop there, but that there is so much more to come.
That's inspiration right there. Tisna, I would love for you to share why you do this work, why you chose to dedicate your life.
Ooh, yeah. I think from like the moment growing up, so from backing up from my childhood, like my grandmother was one of the first girl to go to school in Niger. Her My great grandfather, I suppose, was village chief, and for him, it was really important to set that example for girls to be able to go to school as well. And so he sent her and her brothers to go to school. She was the first woman to drive a car, also, and then she led the creation organization that helped to give women the rights to vote, women empowerment, and all of that. And she also had seven daughters and one son. So it's like a very like female oriented in my family. And we've always been very social led justice. That's the environment that I grew in. It's really about empowering and helping others. And so it wasn't really a straight path for me to be led to this, but God has a way of bringing you back into this plan, and for me to use communication as my way to be able to use that to raise my voice and be able to share that was something that I was very passionate and just loving the work that IJM does. That's what brought me here.
What a legacy. Wow.
Mhm.
Your
Yes.
grandmother and grandfather sound like inspirational people.
Mhm.
I would love to know, why is International Day of the Girl Child important to recognize?
Mhm. It's so important because girls are so vulnerable to experience violence and exploitation and trafficking. And especially in contexts where poverty is really high and where justice system are broken, we see how the difference is extremely high between girls if they're able to go to school or not, if they get victim of sexual exploitation, forced marriage, child marriage, and all of that. And so all those environments just create this that continue to affect girls. And so I think that's what this day is so important, to be able to recognize this, but also see the hope that is coming. This year's theme is about the girl that I am, the change that I lead, and seeing how girls can be empowered, and that how they are leading the change. And I think that's what is so important, to just not look at what is happening, but also how they're raising up, they're standing up, they're using their voices to be the change and bring the change.
You are indeed using your voice to help bring positive change. I appreciate that. Um, if you don't mind me asking, how does faith play a part in all of the work that iJam does as well?
Hmm. Yeah, it's really a part of all of our rhythm. So making sure that we pray about the work, that we are led by our faith. It's not something that we like lead in the sense of trying to bring the gospel to people in that sense, but mostly because they are in a vulnerable state and we don't want to take advantage of the situation. But it's mostly about being able to be that safe place, knowing that because of the love of Christ that we have, that we're able to go into the parts of the world, to be able to serve them, to be the hands and feet of Jesus, and to be able to love those communities and help them. And I feel like also just having the hope with the face of this darkness. There are so many times that I'm really grateful that it is a Christian organization, because facing with all the reality of the darkness of this world is really hard. But knowing that I can hold on to the hope that Jesus is king, and that he's already brought out everything to completion, and freedom is possible and justice is possible, helps us to keep going into this work despite the darkness.
Well said. I would love to know, if anyone's watching and they're like, I want to do more. How can people get involved on this International Day of the Girl Child or with IJM?
Yeah, that's awesome. And we love that. We love to have people join us and be part of our community of supporters, call them our freedom partners. And so we have two ways that we would love for people to join us. The first one, if you want to support us financially, you can go to igm.ca/CHBN. We have our special little URL for all of you. So you can go and see how tangibly your donation can make a difference in the life of people, how $50 or $20 can bring a rescue package, or go help people to have internet credit for counseling sessions, and all of those tangible ways that you can make a difference in the lives of people. And then the second way, which is very exciting, we love people to also be involved as advocates. And December, which is a little play on words for wearing dressing up, during the month of December, where we invite advocates to fundraise for IGM by wearing a dress or a tie for the entire month of December. And so if you want to learn more about that, same thing, igm.ca/Dressember, and you will be able to learn more about how you can get involved.
Amazing. Tisna, is there anything else that you wanted to share today?
No, just that I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and just something that was also in my heart. I just feel like it's easy to think how trafficking, you think that people get kidnapped or like it thinks that it's those type of situation. And although those happen, it's also like environments where people are in trusted communities. And so those places are the ones that are often safe, romantic partners, family members, which is also hard to say. But all of those are things that can lead to people being trafficked because people exploit trust. And so I think that's what also makes girls so vulnerable to that. And so just being able to build justice system that are stronger and that are protecting girls in the future is really the hope that the work that we're doing.
Well, I want to say personally, I really appreciate the work that you do. I
Thank
support
you.
it wholeheartedly, and thank you for shining a light on this today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sylvia.